Okay, guys, we'll just get the formalities out of the way. I'll try not to keep you very long. Should be only half an hour. We should be out of here or lunchtime. So, hey, look, just a couple of quick, I thought I might do it at the front end, a couple of big thank yous, especially to Wiggy or Craig for coming in and facilitating this morning, which I thought was awesome. Big thanks to Ian and Rory as well from a global perspective, and all the people on the panel. Was awesome. And big thank you, John. I didn't get to shake your hand, but hey, thank you very much. One really big important thing I took out of it is ministry for primary industries, and I think we sometimes forget, and I think as farmers we're around it's almost like the ministry against primary industries, and so it's great and really awesome to hear that you're changing that, and I think that's going to be really important to get out and change farmers' perception of MPI. So look, well done. Really enjoyed your comments today. Thanks. Cool. Right. So let's get into this. We'll just crack into our actual AGM, which, as I say, shouldn't actually take too long. And yeah, I've already been getting a few looks from Louisa, so we'll crack into it. So yeah, just attendance and apologies. So do we have any apologies, or are they that aren't listed up there? I'm not going to go through and read them all, but Jeff, are there any other additional apologies? Yeah, also, so if you just have a look through there, that the members that are in attendance are actually here. Yep. Cool. So these are the previous minutes, so last year's minutes. So we'll just want to move that these are true and correct record last year. I think there's only a few of us that were actually here. Someone move the true and correct? All in favour? Or seconded, Susie? All in favour? Or was anyone against? No, sweet. Cool. I don't think we had any actions out of those minutes, Louisa? There weren't any no action. Cool. I'm going to just read my my report to get my moment in the spotlight. Looking back over the last 18 months, I find it difficult to remember all the challenges, opportunities, and distractions that have confronted us, from the ongoing COVID-19 disruptions, supply chain issues, inflation, labour shortages, and land use change, driven by the lucrative allure of carbon farming. We as an industry have been under intense pressure. We have, however, had the benefit of strong product prices and have been able to be resilient and succeed where other parts of our economy haven't. We as an organisation have struggled during that time to maintain the momentum started with the creation of the NZRSB in 2019, and acknowledge that our communication and engagement with our members has suffered. We have experienced changes on our board, and we have a relatively new board. But I can assure you, moving forward, we're motivated and committed to maintaining better communication and engagement with our stakeholders. We want to have an impact across our beef industry, and we actually need your input. Our value chain understands the need to play its part for New Zealand's environmental, economic and social benefit. I believe the NZRSB can play a key role in that process. I'm often asked, in fact I was just asked just before, what is the value proposition of being part of the NZRSB? And I see the following as being the key benefits. Collaboration, which we've talked about quite a bit today, collaboration across the beef industry. I've never in my whole farming career ever been involved in an organisation that has that level of collaboration. And we can have an influence and we can make a difference. Just as a side note on that, I mean, to come into a room where we can have the whole value chain represented, where we can have Alliance and Silver Fern sitting next to each other and talking collaboratively instead of fighting, as an example. And I mean, you know, from a farmer coming into that and seeing that and being involved in that, it's just awesome. And it's across the whole value chain. And I think it's really important to listen to everyone's different challenges, and then to work together, and then to get the desired result, which is, you know, what we're here for. A united voice across the value chain so we can lead discussions on issues and opportunities rather than just following. We do have an ability to influence change. So when you get all the key players in the room around the table, there's a great opportunity to actually drive some change. Global perspective, I've seen, as you know, with Rory and Ian here today, you know, we have close relationships with multiple global roundtables, and that can provide us, you know, with a whole lot of key insights. And I guess support, which I think is a really big one, support for the stakeholders throughout the value chain. One of our key goals is to grow our membership, so our focus will be demonstrating these value propositions. The recruitment of an executive officer, Louisa, has had a really positive impact and sort of signals that we, as an organisation, are serious about achieving our goals. NZRSB has a vision that New Zealand beef will be recognised as the world's most sustainable beef, continuously improving outcomes that are environmentally sound, economically viable and socially responsible. Our mission is that the New Zealand beef value chain will strive together to produce the world's most sustainable beef through strategic, collaborative, coordinated and transparent actions. I would like at this time to acknowledge and thank all the current and previous NZRSB board members for their involvement, support and effort. These are voluntary and unpaid roles, and so it's a big thank you. We'd also like to make a special mention and thank you to Grant Bunting, previous NZRSB Chair, and Justin Courtney for their mentorship and guidance through my term to date as Chair. And once again, a huge special thanks to Louisa, who has over the last 5 months worked tirelessly towards the success of the NZRSB, and to this day as well. So she has pretty much organised single-handedly this day, and so look, huge thank you to you, Louisa. I believe the NZRSB has a passionate, enthusiastic and motivated member base. We're wanting as an organisation to have an impact across our beef value chain, and I encourage anyone who's interested to get on board and get involved. Thank you. Yeah, so I just have a motion that my chairman's report is received. Cool. Matt, seconded by Megan. Financial. Steve, do you want to jump up here and run us through that? Yep. That is working.
You flick? Which one? Oh, okay. So these are the financials ending for 2022. Total sales, well, membership was 121,000, you can see there. A little bit of other income coming from ANZCO. Haven't quite pinned down what that one was. I've just taken this on in March and playing a bit of catch up thanks to Craig. He's helping me get through it. Our cost of goods, we've got a bit of communication there. That was from the last AGM. That was a production company. We've got some IT for the website, which is ongoing every year. Bit of travel. Professional fees was a consultant company that we were using last year. That was their fees. Then we had a bit of HR for the recruitment of the executive officer and the salary for the executive officer for that financial year. That gave us our balance sheet. You can see there of 168. There's some debtors there that were overdue memberships that weren't paid. And then we had some creditors down the line of some unpaid invoices while we were transferring over the bank account so I could have access to pay them. Any questions? Oh, I've gone the wrong way, have we? I had, 2023 forecast in there, but...
Oh, that might be on the... I just want to go through that.
If you want to have a quick look at 2023 forecast, so membership's based on, as you're aware, there's a 50% reduction this year. So that's only based on current membership. We grow that membership number. IT is an ongoing fee that we'll pay for the website. And then we've actually built in some travel and some general meeting budget in there this year. There's the global conference that hopefully we're going to send someone away to, so we've had to build a little bit of buffer in there for us. And subscriptions is potentially, could be an NZFAI subscription, still to be confirmed on that one. Any questions? Right. I need a motion that's all true and correct, please. Megan? And a seconder?
Nick, Jolly? Okay, so we've got a couple of motions and to change some of the society rules. So I guess I'm not going to go through and read them completely out, but I mean, the first one is to increase the maximum board members from 12 to 14. So just to put that into perspective, it's actually to just give us a little bit of better representation across the industry. So we're finding that we are really keen to get right across our value chain, and so we are looking to just increase those members, and it may be in the short term. The ultimate aim for NZRSB is for actually our members to actually be running what we're doing as opposed to the board. So we really want to get more member involvement across that. So I guess, so the first motion is to increase the maximum board members from 12 to 14. So I just need someone to... well, it has to be a motion first. The motion, does someone want to... do them all together? So the first one is increase the membership from 12 to 14. The second one is along those same lines, to increase the maximum representation from allied services and producer member groups from 3 to 4. Once again, to give more flexibility to have more members from different parts of the value chain. So basically, rule 5.3 will be to a maximum of 4 members from allied services and producers, and a maximum of 3 members from any other membership class may be on the board at any one time. And that's it all. No, there's another one as well. To better reflect the application of retirement of the board member. So it's just it's around the insertion of the word entities. Shall retire at each board meeting. So it will actually be the entity, not the board member. Is that correct? Yeah. So do we just have to have a motion on the floor for those 3 and then a vote? 2, sorry? So does someone want to motion that? Yep. Sorry. Yeah, so that was the initial, so they were the initial members. Yeah. So we're trying to change it to be the entity, not the person.
Those names are only there because they needed to be there.
Initially, at the creation of the society, right back. So that's pre my time, but they were the initial founding. So Susie's on there. So Susie, you better give us a bit of a, that's the rationale. Yeah. So I just need someone to motion that and a seconder, and we can vote on that. Yeah, that's why we're changing it. So here it is. Here's the change here. So we're changing it to be an entity.
Does this, yep.
Yep.
So the background is that there was confusion around whether or not we were referring to the representative of the board member or the board organization as the board member. And the clarity is to put the entity, the business, the organization, not the individual representative, because a business can be on, for example, Whangara Farms can be on the board, but if Richard hands that job to someone else, then that would effectively renew that organization's representation on the board for another 4 years. So it was clarification that it was intended to be the organization that retires at 4 years and not the representative assigned.
Can I ask a question? Because I think if you have 4 retiring, when can they come back on? Yeah, otherwise you're going to run into a situation
So, yeah.
Can we re-elect immediately?
Yes, so that, which is what's happening this year. There's 4 retiring, and then they're actually putting themselves up for re-election. Longest serving. So that should be up there, the longest in office since their last appointment election. And so that's determined in, pre the AGM. Yeah. And I guess if there's an AGM and there's actually multiple people wanting to come on, well then potentially they may actually not get back on. Everyone happy with that? Happy enough? So Matt, seconder. Steve. So anyone against? So that's carried. Great. So we do have a board election, but given the change to that constitution, we only have two. We have 2 nominees, Anthony Dark and Chris Allen. So given that there's only 2 and we have the space, we don't have to actually hold an election. So they are formally... Yes. I was going to do the whole lot together. Yes. Is that all right? Yeah. So we did them all together, Louisa? Or do you want to go? We can go through each one.
If there's a request to go back and clarify each individual, we can do that.
Do you want me to go back and do each individual one, Susie? So we've approved the first one, 5.1, so I'll go to the next one, 5.3. So that's to increase the membership allowance to a maximum of 4 from 3 for allied service and producers. Rationale is for allied service, we want to get across the value chain, so we're really keen to get a dairy representative on there. And so that's some of we're hamstrung with only having 3 allied services given the amount across the value chain that is the allied service or classed under allied service. So for us to get across the value chain, if we don't actually increase some of that flexibility around our memberships, then we can't have those people in there. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I suppose you could argue the producers could, doesn't necessarily have to be increased. Yeah, I mean, it's to a maximum though, so I mean, if it doesn't have to be 4, but it just gives us a little bit more flexibility there to have, I mean, as of today, there's 2 nominees for producers. We haven't had any nominations for anyone else. Yeah, Chris, you had a question?
Yeah, just a maximum of 4 members from allied services, so that's
Yeah, maximum of yeah. A maximum of 4 from allied, 4 from producers, and 3 from everyone else.
I'm just wondering with the concept of 4 and 4 producers, later on if you want
It's probably a good idea.
I just move the amendment, you add 4.
Yeah, to be a bit more clarity. No, agree. No, yeah. Fonterra. Correct. Under producer category, yes, definitely. Yep, yep. Someone want to second that? Yep. Cool. So any more discussion on that, or someone's happy to move that motion? Matt? Yep. Yeah, so the motion we accepted with the change of the insertion of 4 producers. So that's Matt and,
Jess seconded.
beg your pardon, sorry?
Jess seconded.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Sweet. So this is more just a wording, so we've discussed this, so that it was the entity as opposed to the member. Happy? Sweet, so someone move that too. Kate? Seconder? Nick? Anyone against? Cool. So everyone's happy? Great. So yeah, so just as far as elections go, we only have the 2 nominees. So given that change, those 2 nominees, we don't have to actually have an election, so they'll be automatically, are the only 2 nominees we have, so they'll automatically come onto the board. So that is Anthony Dark and Chris Allen. Congratulations, welcome aboard. Just to acknowledge the retirement or the resignation of Rick Burke. So look, Rick has been a big advocate for NZRSB, so I just thought it would be good to formally acknowledge Rick and thank him if he is online. Thanks, Rick, and it's a pity, yeah, obviously issues on farm and couldn't be here today. That's just the board members. Yep. Matt, Megan, anyone against that? No, that's carried. So we do have, we have been sort of quite actively trying to fill another NGO. So NGO and dairy have been sort of some of the 2 areas of focus. I mean, we can add it, we had one extra producer, because I mean, Rick is a producer, he's resigned, he's replaced by Anthony, and then we also have Chris. So Yeah, no, it's open for comment, really. I mean, I think Mick is in the process of resigning from FM. Yeah, so there'll be a short there. Yes. Yeah, so Bidfood has been spoken to. Yep. Yep. So we'll potentially, we're going to have a quick board meeting after this AGM, so there'll be, we can discuss that then as to where we need to be going. I mean, we do have a lot more flexibility than what we did now with those extra spots, so we can actually be a lot more active in that space. Just want to reiterate though, we are as a board mindful that we want our membership base to be driving NZRSB, not the board, because unfortunately we get into this little spot where everyone wants to be on the board. If they can't get on the board, well, then they're not actually interested. And so I think for us, we really want the membership base to be driving it. So that's the challenge for us. You know, one of our goals is to double the members.
For our experience at GRSB, one of the targets we've set ourselves is we have to work with society to do the technical bits. There are platforms where they engage in the roundtable that aren't, just making sure we have those avenues,
Yep.
especially the technical space.
Yep. Definitely. Cool. Is there any other general business that anyone wants to bring up? Great. I'll hang on.
All those that are on the board now need
Cool. So the plan for the board will be that we'll have a meeting at 2:30, maybe 2. So we can have a meeting of our new board just briefly, just to deal with some of those administration. I do know. I think Anthony's got to take off, so maybe we have to grab him before he goes. Yep. Oh, unless you want to do. It's fine. Megan, you had something? No, thanks for that. Awesome. I call the 2022 NZRSB AGM closed. And yeah, thank you.